Imagine having the power to wipe the slate clean and build an entire nation completely from scratch. What core values would you weave into its DNA? Today, we aren't just looking at a dusty list of ancient rules. We are unpacking a foundational charter designed to build a brand new society. Let's dive into day one.
This is day one of freedom. There is no established country, no existing institutions, and absolutely no legal system in place. You just have a massive crowd of ex-slaves who desperately need a practical, everyday guide on how to live together. If you could wipe the slate clean, what would you prioritize? This document serves as the ultimate foundational charter to build a functional nation completely from scratch. And the very first pillar they had to establish wasn't the economy, it was absolute justice.
Before they even had borders or kings, they had to establish the rule of law based on integrity and deep empathy. The text issues a brilliant 3,000-year-old warning against fake news and peer pressure. Do not follow the crowd in doing wrong. It's an ancient strike against mob mentality. For example, if you see your bitter enemy's donkey struggling under a heavy load, you are legally required to stop and help. Basic human decency must always win out over personal grudges. But this radical empathy couldn't mean twisting the truth.
Justice in this new society had to be completely blind. The law commands you to fiercely protect the poor, but you cannot twist your testimony to favor them just because they are marginalized. The truth is the truth. The command to treat outsiders and foreigners well comes directly from their own painful shared memory of suffering in Egypt. The law essentially says, you know exactly what it feels like to be oppressed. Don't ever forget it. And treating people with dignity meant completely changing how they viewed work and rest.
This brings us to the second massive pillar of the nation, the Sabbath, or the law of rest. This is so much more than just a mandatory day off. It is a revolutionary social concept focused on long-term sustainability and human equality. The number 7 becomes the heartbeat of this entire societal system. You work hard for 6 days, but you must rest on the 7th. You work the agricultural land for 6 years, but you must let it completely rest on the 7th. And this rhythm doesn't just apply to the elite.
This radical concept of rest flows down through the entire ecosystem. Because the land is allowed to recover, wild animals and the poorest people in the community can freely eat whatever grows naturally. Working animals finally get a desperately needed break, and servants or foreign laborers are physically and mentally refreshed. It's a brilliant system designed to renew absolutely everyone. But maintaining this healthy ecosystem required them to never forget who gave it to them in the first place. The third pillar of this society was all about forging an unbreakable national identity through rituals and collective memory. The calendar was anchored by 3 massive yearly festivals: the Spring Festival, celebrating their escape from slavery, the Early Harvest, to dedicate their first crops, and an end-of-season Thanksgiving. It was a mandatory, joyful yearly rhythm designed to ensure that no matter how successful they became, they never forgot where they came from or who sustained them. And keeping that memory alive was a matter of life and death. At this point, the stakes of the blueprint get raised dramatically. This isn't just a friendly list of suggestions. It is a binding covenant with a massive, mind-blowing promise attached. God promises that a divine guide will protect them on their journey. If they strictly follow these laws, they are promised ultimate national security, protection from diseases, and an incredibly flourishing, prosperous society. It is the ultimate security deal, but it comes with a terrifying, non-negotiable warning. The tone suddenly pivots on a dime. To survive, they are commanded to maintain total cultural separation. They must make no treaties with the corrupt surrounding nations and absolutely must not worship the local gods. The choice is starkly laid out before them. Obedience brings unbelievable blessings and protection. But serving other gods isn't just a simple mistake. It is walking straight into a lethal trap that will lead to the complete undoing and destruction of their new nation. All right, just explored a blueprint built on absolute justice, radical rest, and a shared national memory. Now, let me leave you with two questions to sit with. First, the law strictly warned against following the crowd. In our modern world of social media and peer pressure, how do you fight against mob mentality today? Second, the Sabbath forced an entire nation to stop and recover. Are you building enough intentional rest into your own daily ecosystem? Take a moment, breathe, and let them sink in.